him any favors by staying. If anything, you're actually going to start building up resentment. Your relationship doesn't have to be toxic to validate your feelings of wanting to leave.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. And something that I talk a lot about on a lot of my videos is how marriage is just a waste of time. It's basically a scam if you're a guy. We're going to go over a few clips highlighting some of these points. So as always, we're going to go ahead and just get it started. You could like the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hey, my name's Ratboy. Let's get into it.
If your husband is a good guy, but you're ready for divorce, you're not a bad person. So don't let guilt get the best of you. You're not doing him any favors by staying. If anything, you're actually going to start building up resentment. Your relationship doesn't have to be toxic to validate your feelings of wanting to leave. Think of it this way. If he's a good guy, he deserves to be happy. That means he deserves to be with somebody who values him and wants him just the way he is. If that's not you, you gotta let him go. He may not see it like this right now, but you're doing both of you a favor.
You know, and I'm not judging you, but I'm just saying everybody else is gonna.
And this is a very common theme that you'll see on TikTok whenever you search for marriage or divorce, or you start getting into these TikToks they show you into the is that marriage isn't a commitment anymore. Women do not view marriage as a commitment. They do not view marriage as a contract that you sign. Marriage is basically for women a commodity, something that they can do with, do without. Even if they're married, it really doesn't matter. They can screw around, they can cheat around, they can go out with random men, they'll be on dating websites, and it really doesn't matter. There's no consequences for women going outside of marriage. There's no repercussions for women whenever they look outside the marriage for intimacy or anything like that. There's basically, it's all winning when it comes to women. So they will say, women will tell you, oh, marriage is, I want marriage, I want commitment. I want to find my special someone, my one and only, and spend the rest of my life with them, grow old with them. And that is that. And when in reality, they want the security of marriage. They want that security. They want that certainty, but they want all the other hot girl summers and stuff too. They want to be able to sleep around and hang out with Chad and all this other stuff. So this is the thought process behind marriage. They do not care about the sanctity of marriage. They only care about the benefits that marriage give them. So they love getting married. They love getting married. And even better than their love of getting married, they absolutely love getting divorced. Divorce for a woman is so good for them because they are able to play the victim. They're divorcing their husband. They're automatically the victim. The husband is never the victim in the divorce. That's something else you have to understand. The women, no matter what happens, she could have cheated with a football team. She's still the victim in a divorce because it's so much harder for the woman. Everybody knows this. And that's not how men that have been divorced see it. That's just how women see it. Women see divorce as, oh, it's so hard for the woman, so they deserve all of this stuff the man's going to give them, which is usually child support, alimony, assets. The division of assets is always going to favor the woman in these situations. In almost every case, the woman gets the house. In almost every case, the woman gets the car, family vehicle. In almost every case, the woman gets complete custody of the kids. And in almost every case, the woman has to receive the alimony. The woman receives the child support. There is very few instances where men get alimony, and even fewer instances where men will get full custody over the mother. In those instances, the mother would literally have to be just the worst person on the planet for a judge to give full custody to the man. These are very extreme circumstances. And in a lot of the times I've seen where the man did get full custody, it was when the mother was either homeless, didn't have a job, didn't keep a job, or was a user of certain substances. That was the only way, and it had to be all three of those. It couldn't just be one or the other. And in a lot of cases, a woman can be completely a user of all sorts of things and still get the kids. This is why a lot of these kids get messed up.
I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm about to give you a free piece of legal advice that's going to change your life. If you're going through a divorce, one of the most important dates is going to be date of separation. The reason for that is after the date of separation, any money that your spouse earns is theirs to keep and theirs alone. Now, I'm not encouraging this or I'm not telling you to do this, but what I am going to say is in the event that you start going on dates with your spouse again, canoodling, snuggling, doing all of that stuff, then you can possibly contest the date of separation and in turn be entitled to that money.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
So this is a tactic that a lot of women use during divorce, and some guys aren't aware of this. And this is taken a lot of guys for a lot of money, a lot of assets go away when women do this. But they will file for divorce, suggest that they all still live in the same home while she's building her case, and then all the while she is still doing everything that a wife does in a marriage as far as intimacy with this man. And a lot of times they will go out on dates. You will try to, save face. A lot of times, a lot of men will feel guilt, especially if they are in a marriage where that woman has weaponized guilt against these men. These men will feel guilty for absolutely no reason. So they will take the wife out on dates and pay for certain things and do this and do that. And all the while, this woman is building a case against this man in order to squeeze every amount of money and assets away from him. It is the very definition of two-faced. And not only that, this is a practicing lawyer, allegedly practicing, giving women this advice. Say, hey, look, you're already getting divorced. You already hate this dude. You might as well just use your body in order to get some more of his assets because he's wasted 25 years of your life. This is the thought process. You must get the upper hand in every single situation. If you don't get the upper hand, then, we all know what happens. Marriage is, and until laws change, will always be the biggest scam for a man. You basically lose everything if there's a divorce. Even prenuptial agreements, even prenups. If there's a good enough lawyer, you have a good enough lawyer and a judge that is feminist enough, that prenuptial agreement is worth less than trash. They will throw it out every single time. All they have to do is prove that the woman was coerced into signing it. Or if she was a very popular way, is sometimes it will say that she has signed the prenuptial. I've seen that she has signed the prenuptial agreement under duress, which is so vague. It honestly doesn't make any sense. And these women will get that prenuptial agreement thrown out the window and still get over half of this man's stuff. It happens a lot more than it doesn't happen. It happens a vast majority of the time, 99% of the time. You're talking about in divorces, women get half the assets. You're probably asking yourself, oh, well, what does it matter? It only matters if the guy is super rich. No, not really. Even if you're a middle-class dude, imagine having not a whole bunch of stuff, but just imagine having a small bit of stuff and then a woman taking half of it and leaving you with even less. If you half of $100, $50, but half of $1 50 So when you don't have a lot to begin with, you end up with a lot less when someone else is taking half from you. And in a lot of cases, whenever, as this lawyer was saying, you're milking the dude, and then that way you can push that data separation back to possibly to the very end, and then you have even more assets. You can push that date all the way back to a week before the hearing, and you've just added a very high percentage onto, and these women have added a very high percentage onto what they can get from their husband. Marriage, especially if you are well established, there are situations when you're younger where you're starting a family, you're starting a career, you want to get your life started. Absolutely, you're young, you get married. I would still advise against that, but even when you're older, absolutely stay away from marriage. A lot of guys that have been married and divorced and have been through it, they'll always say one thing: they will never get married again. They will die. They will end before they get married. But let me know what you guys think. That's going to be the end of today's video, but let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment if you have something to say. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.